wasn't expecting this match to start off as quickly as it did. They were introducing Valkyria, and Becky jumped right on her.
So if I was in control of the odds for the betting on WWE, my line would be 2.5 centimeters for Becky Lynch's vertical. We'd clean house. Because everyone would say, no human can not jump at least 3 centimeters, right?
You ever seen Becky Lynch go off the top rope?
I've seen her fall off the top rope. I've never seen her jump off the top rope.
I said go, not jump.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's all it is a dive. There is no vertical. It's a dive, like into a pool. I really don't know who they're going to put over in this match.
I hope it's Valkyria. She's won me over.
I do too, but I feel like
came out with this.
I feel like
that very first day,
won 2 against Becky, and she's already beat Becky twice. She beat her for the NXT title, and then she beat her in a singles match recently. I think this is Becky's time at the PLE. They're not going to do the man that way. She's already helped put her over by losing twice to her and letting her talk about it. Becky picked her arm up and raised it when she beat her for the NXT Women's title almost a year ago. And Becky says, you're going to raise my hand tonight. I think Valkyria will have to raise Becky's hand tonight.
Okay, well, she's hitting her moves a little cleaner than on the Raw.
PLE Becky is always different. Yeah, that's what I tell people. It's like PLE Goldberg and WCW Nitro Goldberg.
That green dude in the front row, he's works there, right?
No, I have looked it up.
I've always thought that he was an employee or some shit.
People thought he has worked there, green shirt guy. People have thought that he was the fan that was assaulted by CM Punk back in 2010. People have thought that he was James Ellsworth, the old wrestler that had no chin. And that is not green shirt guy. Green shirt guy has came out and said he's been considered for the WWE Fan Hall of Fame. He was given a special intro on WrestleMania due to all the shows that he's attended. But he has owned and ran his own online business for almost 20 years now. So basically, since the internet was founded, this man jumped on the internet business scheme, and think about how big that is and easy it is for people now. No wonder he can, I looked it up online. If I wanted to catch a plane ticket to Dubai, it's only $13 for a round trip to Dubai. I swear to you, when we were looking at our anniversary trips, to get there is cheap as hell. To stay there is cheap as hell.
Really?
Their currency is gold. Our money, our dollar bills, are worth more than their gold there. But if you come here to the United States, their gold is worth more than our dollar bills. Especially with my mom and dad working where they work now. The owners of that place have told them, they're like, how do you afford it? And they're like, gold. Gold is like water in India and Arabia and a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. And gold is gold here in the States. So having that money there everywhere else to the world.
That's basic economics. That's actually...
Kenya just found a bunch of gold too, and they're supposed to have a big economical social come up too.
That's what brought down the Spanish Empire was how much silver they had. They had so much that it tanked in value, and that messed up their whole
that's
empire.
The thing is, gold is such a scarce resource, and now that's exactly what it is. That's why Saudi Arabia and Riyadh and all them are able to hold the UFC and WWE and all this other shit because they have all the gold.
How much speculation you want to get into. Speaking of the Middle East and gold, I heard Mr. McMahon's got some help trying to get it back.
I've heard that he wants it back, but I've also heard that TKO has no interest in selling, so there's rumors that he's going to come out with his own and start his own.
My latest rumor
I love that.
The Saudi prince might be willing to help him buy it back, and if that's the case, TKO can't say no. Because if they give just even the remotely decent offer, because they have shareholders, there's a point of an offer where they're not allowed to say no.
But you know the problem with that? The majority shareholder on WWE stock is Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
He's not going to sell it. Not to Vince.
Right, not to Vince.
Not to Vince. If it was Levesque and the Arabs, or Stephanie, or maybe even Shane and the Arabs, I don't see with everything that Vince has done, because that would affect Dwayne publicly and his publicity and his social fame so much.
Now is a bad time to be associated with Mr. McMahon.
So I feel like what may happen, because the Prince of Dubai was willing to help GFL, Global Fight League.
Yeah.
And they were willing to back them, but the guys that ran Global Fight League didn't follow through, and that's the second time that Saudi Arabia has said, we'll help you put this promotion on. Before it was World Fight League, before World Series Fight League came out with their shit, and then they switched it to Global. Anyway, long story short, there's 7 pro MMA fighters suing the guy that wanted to start GFL because the Saudi Arabians put up all this money. He promised all these fighters fights and contracts and then fell through, had this big draft. So now he's getting sued by, but Saudi Arabia and Dubai are all about right now investing into shit like that. And that's the thing is I could easily see Vince saying, help me start my own. Look what Tony Khan's done in 3-4 years.
Right.
I know how to do it better than him. He's a
better
kid
than anybody,
playing with toys. I monopolized this business. Let me do it again. And if Vince gets the money, he may only have 10 years of life left, but he will take the whole pro wrestling world over again in 10 years if he gets Saudi Arabia money.
Man. That's the Mr. McMahon I miss. The last 15 years, Mr. McMahon, garbage. He needs to have someone to fight down and dirty with.
But that's the thing is, I don't like when he fought down and dirty because I was a WCW before I was a WWF. And then I love ECW too. Lynch has just been dominating. That's why we've not been speaking on this match. It's not even been competitive up to this point. But when Vince bought WCW and ECW, he had potential. If he had worked out a deal with Warner Brothers and gotten them big contracts like Sting and Goldberg and them, they could have really done something instead of having to wait 2 years till they expired and being able to. The invasion gimmick could have been way better than it was. And the only reason I know that is I'm watching AEW do it right now with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders is what he calls them. He's bringing in New Japan guys, CMML guys. He's bringing in people from all different promotions that feel like Moxley knows best, so we're going to follow suit. And they're tearing shit up. Moxley's world champ. They're trios champs. They're working for the tag titles. Now it's to the point where Moxley and the Death Riders are working with the EVPs, the Young Bucks, because the Young Bucks feel they have no other option other than to work with these guys or they're going to lose their company. That's the invasion could have been a better NWO than
That's going to go down
was.
As the biggest botch in creative in wrestling history is how badly they did.
It's because Vince refused to work out the contracts with Warner Brothers and pay off the big names.
I think the one thing Vince didn't take into account is how he needs someone to scrap with to bring out the best in him. Because as soon as he crushed WCW, it was crap.
And then TNA came out, and TNA with Abyss and all them. I love that Abyss is about to be in the WWE game. I have the WWE game, and he's the DLC for the WWE game. Cool. Because he's been a backstage producer since he retired from in-ring competition for WWE. And he wrestled in TNA and was a TNA staple. He was TNA's Kane. Abyss is amazing in my opinion, in-ring and out-of-ring creative. Tommy Dreamer did the same thing when ECW first got bought. He worked with WWE Creative for almost 15 years. Now he helps run TNA. Like, a lot of these guys...
TNA is really about to hit its big boom.
Unfortunately, I think WWE is going to do them more harm than good.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're farming them for talent. Because AEW was working with them, and now they don't want AEW to have any of the talent, so they're farming them. Like Jordan Grace. And Joe Hendry, when his contract expires, WWE already wants him. They want the Hardys back again to do a Hall of Fame run with them. Like, they've already renewed the rights for Bully Ray, Bubba Ray. They took it from TNA.
Oh, man. Bend her in half. That looks so painful.
Becky and Charlotte both have struggled to put muscle mass on. In the last year, in my opinion, they have struggled.
Poor Charlotte.
Now, I have to admit, when last time Charlotte came out on SmackDown, when she had, or Raw, whichever it was, and she cut the promo after the pay-per-view with Tiffany, she looked toned, and I was impressed. I was like, she looked muscular, because before she wasn't even filling her outfit out.
Because she's not the right shape to put muscle on as a girl. I mean...
She's too tall.
And needs more testosterone in her body. That's all there is to it.
Maybe that's why Andrade had enough. You look like a skeleton, and when you don't, you look like a man. Being in AEW and traveling all over with AEW, he's like, I can look at women like Sky Blue and Julia Hart compared to the skeleton at home.
That's why I said poor Charlotte. She's wanted nothing more to be a girly girl her whole life, and that just ain't in the cards for her.
Well, I've watched the documentaries on Charlotte and on Ric Flair. Ric Flair's oldest child, his son, was a pro wrestler and ended up ODing from drug addiction. And Charlotte at 21 picked up pro wrestling because her brother died, and the only reason she wrestles to this day is because it's what her brother really wanted to do. And she wants to do something in honor of him, which is the only reason she wrestles. which is why that was a brutal leg drop over the barricade.
Becky wasn't pushed forward enough. She wasn't balanced.
That knocked the wind clean out of Becky and pushed her straight onto the back of her head.
Man. Good job, Valkyria. Do it again.
Reversed into a powerbomb by Becky.
Out of all of the bumps, that's got to be one of the more painful ones. The jumping counter into the powerbomb?
I disagree.
Okay.
Because when I was doing bumps, the way a bump is naturally meant to be taken is if I'm standing straight up vertically and then I go down, my butt can't hit before my back and my butt have to hit at the same time. But when they hit, the noise comes from me stomping my feet and smacking my hands. If my arms come back first, it's immediate mat burn and you're ripping your elbow skin off.
But like when you're jumping off the top rope, that's just so much drop. That's
to stand and let someone hit me with a strike, and then now you hit me and knock the wind out of me. Now I gotta throw myself back. Whereas when I jump, I can jump and just rotate back, and all you gotta do is touch me and guide. There's no impact from you. That's all on me. That bump doesn't hurt as bad as getting hit in the chest with a clothesline and then having a back bump. Because now you knock the wind out of me from the front, and I got to slam myself back onto my back. Whereas when I jump off the top to a power bomb or in reverse into a suplex, I'm only taking a back bump.
Right. No it's a further back bump, but it's distributed.
It's not as impactful as the front and then the back because they're so simultaneous that succession chain bump hurts. Simone drops from the middle rope.
You don't have the lower back strength, lady.
Lyra's got some massive thighs. She might be able to squat 450. Manhandle from the middle rope. Told you, it looks like a rock bottom.
Sure was.
And she kicks out.
She didn't jump off the second rope, though. Valkyria picked her up.
Yeah, they dove. They dove together. That was like a half a centimeter vertical. That was even disappointing for Becky.
I used to say she jumps like Seth dresses.
There was no jump, actually. We just leaned forward and bent our legs.
I think in 2017 she broke her jump button.
She might have. She's got a drift now in her controller. When she jumps, she leans to the right, so there's no full jump. Either that or she don't weigh enough now and the wind just catches her and she... Lyra looks like she's twice her weight.
If she wore one of those flag costumes...
Oh, man, she might be able to fly like a kite.
Yeah.
Seth could probably tie a string to her and he could walk down to the ring with her.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God, that was brutal.
That was a good one.
People don't realize that mat is just a wrestling mat. It's just like 1.5 inches thick. It's not thick at all. That hurts. That's concrete underneath there. Or if you're at a hockey rink, it's ice with them slap.
Not only concrete, that's reinforced concrete underground level where there's less give than normal concrete.
K-Wing Stadium, when we met with Kit and Rob Van Dam worked at Van Andel Arena, he said he'd rather wrestle at Van Andel than K-Wings anyway. Yeah. Because he said K-Wings getting bumps on hockey rink floors. Ooh. He said because it's that slap plastic, it's like a 1/2 inch thick underneath the mat. That plastic absorbs what the mat doesn't. And the ice doesn't absorb anything. So the contact doesn't distribute over like the concrete does a little bit. And it's just right where you hit is where you feel it. Man. You help yourself to all them models if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Them are all for you. Oh. They finally mentioned 3 matches in. I'm on my second one. Seagram's, run your ads on my show. We're good. I'll get paid soon enough. I learned the algorithm.
Hopefully, we do need math.
Hopefully Becky can learn the algorithm to get the win because she's 0-2 against Lyra.
They're putting on a good match, though.
It's a lot longer than I expected.
I expected the high point to be our conversation.
Yeah.
She's doing well.
Becky dominated and then Lyra dominated. It's been like one-sided. But the moves are
crisp and clean.
Yes, nothing's looked sloppy. 100%. Even the roll-ups and shit look decent. As Becky goes for one, Lyra goes for one. She could have shit on her face. Threw her throat into the ropes. Manhandle. Reversed. Roll up. 1, 2, kick out. Becky 1, 2, held the shorts. Becky is the new IC champ. Becky is the new IC champ.
You called that one too.
Look. You see that, YouTube? On singles matches, I ain't called wrong yet. Called Dirty Dom, called Becky.
You just won the championship. What are you going to do next? I'm going to learn how to jump.
And I'm calling Cody Rhodes to pin John Cena in a tag team match, or Logan Paul to pin Jey Uso. It is not going to be a champion to win. A champion will be pinned. Stay tuned.
It's going to be
2 matches left. Money in the Bank.